9 a.m. Hello, Facebook friends. Hello, everybody on Zoom. Welcome to Shamanic Soul Gardening, Chapter 1. I'm Carla Meske with Spirit Healer School of Shamanism. I'm a shamanic healer and teacher. I've been working with animals and with people for a coon's age, a long time, and I don't know, 20 years. I don't like to know. It's bad for the soul to know how long after a certain point. My website is SpiritHealer.com, and I offer classes in shamanic animal healing and communication, a wide variety of shamanic classes in core shamanism with a Celtic twist, and I offer healing sessions for animals and people. This is my series on Shamanic Soul Gardening, brought to you by my dear spirit teacher, Grandmother Sunflower. And I'm going to ask the spirits to come in now. I'm going to use my rattle and do a very quick call-in just to connect with the sacred ones from the north and the east and the south and the west. Grandmother Sunflower's sacred circle and all the compassionate spirits of mine who will come from above, below, and all directions, and the compassionate spirits of yours who will come from all the directions. We honor you, and we ask that our sacred tree be in the center, and that all our sacred trees form together to make a forest of our circles. And we ask you bring your power animals and your teachers close, and all your spirits close, so that we may be one circle, and all who listen may join, and our circle may grow and grow and grow. Shamanic Soul Gardening, what is it? It started for me when I lived in Veneta, Oregon, and I had a little farm, a 3-acre farm, and with horses and that sort of thing. And I wanted to garden, and I had zero money. And so I started to work with an upper world spirit named Ram. And he's a master gardener. When he was alive in England, he had fabulous gardens. And in his upper world space, I could go to those gardens and sit there and enjoy the roses and the little babbling water features, all of it. The brick walls, all of it. It was fantastic. And we got to the point where Ram wanted to help me build my garden in Veneta. And so he would pay attention to what was available. And when the great garden center would put plants that he wanted to see in my garden, when they would put those in the distressed pile, because I had no money, Ram would wake me. He'd bang me and he'd say, "You must go, you must go." And I would go to the gardening center and there'd be all these great plants. And then I'd journey with him and he'd show me where to put them in the garden. And together we built this beautiful, beautiful vegetables and roses and all this stuff for nothing. And I thought, there is something to partnering with spirit. Then the next level of it was partnering with the spirits on the land, calling the fairies up and the spirits of the land who are native there to work with all of us to create this gorgeous space. So we did that. Then Grandmother Sunflower came and she said, "I want to show you something about how all the worlds intersect. Your sacred tree that we've taught you about, the one that stands at the center of our sacred circle, the one whose roots extend deep into the ground and whose bough goes straight up into the sky, that sacred tree is the bridge between the worlds. This has been well known forever. It is the world tree. It is the tree that all cultures recognize, and it is the center of the sacred space where what you grow in non-ordinary reality unfolds into harmony in your everyday life. Let's get to work." And so I began Shamanic Soul Gardening as a self-practice, as a practice for me. And how it works is I call in the spirits and I go down to this beautiful sacred space in my journey world in non-ordinary reality, and I connect with all the spirits there, and I sit with Grandmother Sunflower and with Ram, the two teachers who really are my partners in this co-creation. And we decide what needs to be worked on. I will bring ideas to them. I will say, you know, in my life right now, it would be really, really good if I could build up the following for, let's say, my animal communication classes. If I could reach out and expand the animal communication classes to reach more people so that we can have more people come in and the classes are bigger and all that stuff. Let's grow the animal communication courses. And we'll say, okay, that's great. And then we'll open up a section of this beautiful space in non-ordinary reality, and we'll go in there and we'll see what it looks like right now. Maybe it looks like a rocky field with some weeds in it, but there's shoots coming up that were planted there a long time ago. And we'll clear out what needs to be cleared out. We'll set the plan for what we'd like to grow there, how it ought to look. And I'm not worried about whether or not this is translating in my mind's eye to what my goal was with the class. I'm just worried about the beauty. I'm just focused on creating the beauty in that garden, working with my teacher to decide what to do. And so in this case, Ram would say, I think what we should do is center this garden around a beautiful well. So let's go ahead and dig that well. And together in our journey, we'll dig that well and we'll open it up and ask the water to bubble up and fill the whole space with life. And then he'll say, okay, that's really good. Now, let's put benches around the well so that people can come and sit and reflect and look at that well. So we'll build our benches and we'll make them out of all sorts of different materials so different people can come. And then he'll say, you know, this place needs to be shaded and really comfortable. So we'll build shade and make trees and plant vegetables and fruits. And pretty soon we've created this exquisite space in my world in non-ordinary reality. And then I watch, because what happens is I begin to take action in ordinary reality to reach out and let people know I actually teach. You know, the whole thing of how do you get people to find out about you? Well, you've got to tell them you're there. Yeah. So I will begin to take action and people will begin to hear, people will begin to share, and pretty soon those benches get filled. This is how Shamanic Soul Gardening works. This is how it works, and it really does work. It really does work. Another basis of it that I'd like to talk about a little bit is the concept of mirroring in shamanism. Back in the day when I was in the Foundation for Shamanic Studies 3-year program, this was in the late 1990s. One of our first sessions, we did a journey, and I don't even remember what our journey was, but what happened for me is I found myself in Mongolia looking out over the cliffs and calling out, my voice calling out or singing a song out, and the cliff resonated with that song and sang it back to me. It was one of the most profound journeys I've had. I can't remember what Michael was having us do. I actually got to study with Michael Harner. Yeah. I can't remember what the journey purpose was, but the profundity that nature mirrors us back, that profundity has never left me. That is fundamentally the most valuable thing that happened in that week for me. And so that's what we're doing in a Shamanic Soul Gardening. We're calling out to nature, the spirit of nature, our dream, and she mirrors back to us. And she mirrors back to us in the gorgeous garden that we have created, and she mirrors back to us in the manifestation in our lives. Is this cool? Carolyn, what would you love to put into a garden? What seed would you sow into a garden to manifest in your life? I think you're muted.
I guess what I'm really looking to do is to do exactly what you're saying. I want the connection with nature to help me to know what steps I should be taking to bring out into the world what I should be doing. You know, I'm learning herbal medicine right now, and you know, like I just want it to be what I'm supposed to be doing in the world.
Yes! And herbal medicine is so perfect for this because working with the plant spirits, working with as my friend says, the plant people. You're working with their spirit, you're working with them physically. It's this shamanic soul gardening weaves it all together and more. Neat.
I'm excited.
Andrea, what would you put there?
I don't know, kind of the same idea, just to be maybe help me be more grounded and connected to the world I'm in, and maybe figure out what part I can play to help make it a better place.
You know, that's so cool that there's a piece for me that's been happening, which is really exactly what I need. My soul garden has been for me a selfish little deal for a long time. I want to fix my thing here. I want to help with this. Me. For years, you know, so is this unusual? No. But lately, Grandmother Sunflower has said, when you are clear, really clear, you may enter into the community garden that we're all growing together to finally deliver peace and harmony into the world. And there are times I'm clear enough that she lets me enter. And when I do, it's like being in this beautiful bowl of light and singing and the gorgeousness of what is being created. That's where we're all going. We're going into that community circle to create beauty and harmony in our lives and in the world. Yes. Lainey, what will you seed? Oh, you probably can't talk because you're on dark, huh?
Well, that's okay. I would like to find more inspiration in my life, to get more done, and just for a lot of the um, junk to drop away, figuring out how to get through a lot of, you know, just all the stuff in my life that I don't want anymore, and to be inspired to just to take action.
Boy, is that the truth. We've got to weed. Weed that garden. Yes, weed the garden. I know. And you know, here's the cool thing. When I actually go in and say, today I'm weeding, I weed in my journey, and then the next thing that happens is I find myself cleaning out clutter drawers, making room for, and making room. And I won't show you this time, I'll show you next class, but in my space where I'm working right now, this is my office. And we just built this house a year ago, and I built this office so that I could see clients, and that when the day comes we might want to have an Airbnb or whatever. It's a casita. It's all that, you know, it's a little guest room. And it's got a mini kitchen and that. So what the mini kitchen is now is my preparation for my indoor garden, because thank you COVID, I now have grow lights on metal shelves, and I'm growing microgreens, and almost all the produce I consume comes out of this room. So, and weeding the drawers out of all the junk is, how could I get that much junk in a year? But I need the space for the seeds. Carol, what will you grow? You're on mute, darling.
there's some motivation to change my practice a little bit, especially now with COVID.
Yeah.
And I think I would grow with the benches of people that I want to understand how well distance work works.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Okay. Karen, take yourself off mute. What will you grow?
Well, at this time, it's somehow in healing animals, specifically horses. But so, not sure how to open that space up
Oh,
to
yeah.
people to let them know. But that's my intention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So there are a lot of small steps we'll be taking, and the first one, the very first one, is finding that garden space in non-ordinary reality and asking to meet the teacher who will be working with you. And it may be one of the teachers you already know, or it may be a new teacher. And in this short series, our journeys are going to be 5 minutes because I don't want to fill the space with journey. We can always make them longer after the recording, right? You can always go back in and do a longer journey, but just to get the intention. Now, if you've never done a shamanic journey before, it's very simple. You're going to begin by going to some place in nature that you can remember and that you know and that you love. For me, it's a beautiful creek up near Horseshoe Dam, northeast of me, and I live in North Scottsdale, so it's northeast of me up on the Tonto, which actually is burning right now, not a good thing, but that creek is a protected area. So I go there and I dip into the creek and I connect with the spirits there, and then I merge that space with non-ordinary reality, with Grandmother Sunflower's sacred circle in the lower world. And if you need to learn how to get to the upper world, the lower world, and how to do the shamanic journey, I have a short course on it. It's available on SpiritHealer.com. It's not expensive. It's Shamanic Journeying 3 Worlds with Your Sacred Tree. I'll put a link to it in the recording. So we're going to begin with a journey to your teacher's sacred space, getting there from your middle world through a beautiful tree, and then you're in your sacred space, and you're going to ask to meet the teachers who will work with you to create a shamanic soul garden, who will work with you so that you can go there every day, set intention, and begin to seed and grow this garden. I'll use the rattle. Is the sound good for you guys? Andrea, would you give me a thumbs up if you can hear the rattle? Good. Closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, drop into the sacred journey space and ask to meet your teacher who will show you your shamanic soul garden, who will work with you from here forward. Now that was a really short journey time, but you have all the time in the world after class to really make that your own. I was blessed by being shown the journey space for this class, the garden space for this series. And interestingly, it was a giant wheel, like that, big circle, sectioned into 12 pie plates with zodiacal signs standing up in like great sculptures at the edge of each one. And I thought, And then it expanded into a three-dimensional sphere of the zodiac. The old, that old not Platonic, yeah, I can't remember. It's hard, crazy. It's crazy that where we're at the center of the universe and then everything works around us. That old model of the stars, and then it flipped into our current vision of Earth and the whole galaxy. And she said that to understand that soul gardening is like that soul gardening is a modeling of the world like astronomy models like astrology models astronomy. If you can understand the relationship between astrology and astronomy, you will understand the relationship of journeying in your garden and the expansiveness of the interdimensional space of the world where your life actually manifests. So that should take me a lifetime to figure out, because I don't understand it at all. Oh my gosh. One or two people, who did you meet? Go ahead and take yourself off mute and let me know.
Hi, Carla. It's Lainey.
Hi.
It was kind of weird when you were rattling. I was walking in the dirt, like to the rattle, which is kind of cool. And then I met a dragon, an amethyst dragon, and she took me to the top of a mountain, which was like, there was a crystal cave there. And I'm like, wow, neat. And she's like, well, see these rocks in front of this cave? You have to haul them down to that spot down there and make a spiral.
Yay!
So, and then I wanted to take shortcuts, and she's like, oh no, no shortcuts. You have to haul each rock to know it. So, to make it part of you and the spiral.
Wow. So you'll do that in journey work, and I'm going to presume that you'll also make the spiral in your yard.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool. I just got to find the stones.
Exactly. Do you want to go stone hunting? I need to go stone hunting because I want to build a new spiral.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go stone hunting. Lainey is in my Phoenix circle. Yes, and that actually leads me to the thing that Grandmother Sunflower wanted to say for you guys. That the center of your garden, whatever you're gonna make as a holding thing, the center of your non-ordinary reality garden, to construct something similar in ordinary reality, either on your land or on an altar or wherever, to physically make something that will be the anchor for that in your home. And mine right now is a crossroads made out of stones with a heart-shaped stone in the center. And that's out in my yard. I'll show you all these things next time we'll take a tour. Andrea, what did you receive?
Well, since I'm kind of new to this, I got a tall person that I couldn't really see, and we went to this area that was kind of with trees behind and then a cliff looking down below, and it's just grass. There's nothing there. So my job, I guess, is to change that space and make it beautiful. So I haven't gotten any farther than that. see the space and meet my teacher.
I think the tall person is similar to the person that you were talking about yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your teacher is showing up. And I love that oh yeah, there's so much going on there. I'm excited about that. Woo! So your mission, you guys, and Facebook friends, if you're on Facebook following this and you'd like to engage, please come to the Zoom link, because I can't do both Facebook and Zoom at the same time, but I'm broadcasting the Zoom onto Facebook. So anybody can see it, but if you want to be part of our circle, then just come to the Zoom link. And if there's request, we will also have circles in the evening instead of the morning. And in addition to the morning, we will always have morning circle. But in addition to that, we can have evening circles. I'm better in the morning. I'm just saying, I'm brighter, stronger. I'm like a flower that's vibrant in the morning. I'm not a night blooming cactus. No. So please think about doing this, returning to that space and just getting to know the spirit who will be guiding you a little more, and what might be in the center of your space, and how can you make something like that in your home. We're going to take this really slowly, step by step, and that's the first step. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming to our inaugural session on Shamanic Soul Gardening. I'm Carla Meske with SpiritHealer.com. I teach shamanism for animals and people, how to be a shamanic healer for animals and people, how to have shamanism in your life for your personal development and healing purposes. And I give healing sessions for people and private lessons. So thanks again for coming. We'll see you on the next session, which is going to be Monday at 9 a.m. Bye. Thank you.